Okay, well, good morning, everyone. So, in this opportunity, we're going to present our paper. It is entitled Critical Discourse Analysis on Name Shifting Practice Among Millennial Muslims Indonesian Context. So, this is me, Rafika Rabafara, and Triastama Wiraatmaja. We are from the same university, from Universitas Muhammadiyah Malang. So, this is the introductions. The first, we're going to come to the first point. It is what is in a name. So, what's in a name? So, this a very popular saying and very classic. I think people are questioning actually, is there any political view in name giving? So, yeah, actually, there is. I would like to prove the first issue is about the Chinese. The Chinese in Western country they use two names, the Chinese name and also Western names. So research says that Chinese use Western names for pragmatic use. It is for relationship and also for business purposes. So we know that many Chinese are running business. So it is based on Richard Lee, 1997. So the next one is about Zainichi Korean, wherein history threatened to use Japanese name during the annexations of Korea in 1910 up to 45, and still continue until today based on Oki 2012. The next one about the Turkish Bulgarian Muslims. The Tatars, Alavi, and Gypsies were forced to take Bulgarian names with the prohibition of Turkish name during the name change program in 1984 up to 85. Bates 1994. And the last one is about the British Muslim issue. British Muslims who have Muslim sounding names are reported to lose their white privilege and vulnerable to racism and Islamophobia compared to the ones who have British names, Wykes 2017. So our synthesis is that personal naming is not a merely name giving. It conveys social structure of a community and of course about feeling. So then our research gap, we can say that of the many research about Muslim names and identity, however, there are still fairly limited research studying about millennial Muslim names in Indonesia that focus on discovering the trend of name giving and its discourse on shifting. Well, so we formulated our research problem into three categories. The first one is that what are the categories of name shifting in naming practice within the millennial and the new generation of Indonesian Muslim society? What are the most frequent naming preferences used by the Indonesian millennial Muslim society? And one last one, what are the reasons of naming practice among Indonesian millennial Muslim parents? Well, would like to know these three research problems. So our use qualitative research design. Our instruments that the first one is questionnaire. We involve around 200 respondents, and for the interview, we involve three participants who have already filled in the questionnaire before. So about the data analysis, we use NVivo 12 plus. So the features used, the first research question, we use word frequency. The second research question we use cross-tab analysis. And the last one, we use a hierarchy chart. Well, we have respondents' demographic profile. First of all, the first figure detail about the respondents' educational setting. So most respondents are from public school, and half of them, and the rest of them are from religious school. So figure 2 is about the respondents' educational background. So most of them complete their master degree, and the second top rank is on bachelor degree. In the other, you have seen your own that they are four are doctors and others 7, and rest of it is high school leavers. Well, figure 3 is about foreign language learned by the respondents. Most of the respondents has the exposure to English and Arabic, and the rest of them will have Japanese, Mandarin, Dutch, French, Turkey, and Germany. Well, this is the research question number 1. So the categories of name shifting. About the categories of name shifting, uh, it is divided into three categories. The first one is that mixing. The second one is pure Arabic, and the last one is pure Indonesian. So the baby blue ones is belong to parents, a parents category, and the dark blue, I mean the blue one, the bold blue, we have the children category. So based on three categories used for the analysis, pure Indonesian, pure Arabic, and mixing, there is a downward trend on pure Indonesian names in children's naming practice. You can see that in children naming practice, the pure Indonesian is rarely used, whereas their parents' popular names were on this category. It's about 10 count, 1000, sorry, it's about 100 counts. Data discovered that pure Arabic, we come to pure Arabic, has the most preferred naming practice for children with 99 counts, followed by a mixing category with 83 counts. The mixing category involves Indonesian Arabic, and foreign language such as English, European, and others. So that's what we find. So figure 3 is about research question number 2. It's about parents and word frequency. So the word frequency, we have 40 frequent words. The word cloud of parents and children's naming practice shows significant different trend. Data reveal that parents' name have more variety on Indonesian sounded names such as Dwi 7 counts, Arif 4 counts, Kusuma 4 counts, Ayu 3 counts, and so forth. So Indonesian sounded names are popular among parents. But then in figure 5, children word frequency, we found that in children naming practice, the word frequency shows that Arabic sounded names have the most frequency. It is seen clearly from the word cloud that Muhammad has been the most frequent names used by the respondents' children for 36 counts, followed by Ahmad for 6 counts. Other varieties are Fatih, Ahmad, we have ACH, and Akbar, Ayyubi, Gifari, Khadijah, Rayyan, Yusuf, Zahra, and so forth. So Arabic names are more popular in children names. So here is then the next one is the interview data. For the interview data, we have reasons on naming practice. So we verify the reason of each category to the participant who were willing to be the participants in our research. The first one, the firstly category of pure Indonesian names based on interview session with one of the respondents, which son's name belonged to the pure Indonesian names. One of the parents said that the reason why Arka's name is so Japanese because it was derived from Sanskrit. First, because of both his parents are Japanese, and we decided that we don't want him to lose his root or identity as Japanese-born child and should be named with Japanese sound like. Next, Arka's name was actually taken from one of the figures in traditional Japanese shadow puppet, wayang kulit. Yeah. So the figure's name was Raden Arka Suto, that possesses good characters such as statesman-like and charitable person. We hope that the positive traits or characters owned by that figure would be then possessed by Arka. So that's what one of the parents said that. Next, the categories of pure Arabic names according to the interview session with one of the parents with son's name belong to pure Arabic names. It can be seen that there are several reasons on the naming. First of all, I know well that a name for Muslim is a prayer. Thus, the name for my son must be taken from one of the best names. There were some options we selected, and finally we chose Ahmad with ACH that has a reference to our Prophet Muhammad. The second one is about the use of naming practice at many Indonesian schools. The students' attendance list is alphabetically ordered, and A is the first one. So it is very efficient in terms of administrative issue. The third one is a trend. The latest trend for Muslim naming is Arabic, which we consider this trend is good. Hmm, interesting. So one last one, we also interview a parent whose daughter's name belongs to the mixing category. Mixing category, the mixing between English and also Arabic. How so? This is what he said. There was so significant reason actually. My wife wanted the English name, whereas I want my wife wanted the English name, whereas I wanted the Arabic one, which was derived from the Quran chapter Anisa. So we blend these two wishes. According to At-Tabari Tafsir, my daughter's name means delicious food which brings no disease. Thus, we want our daughter to bring a more positive value for us. For the English names Queena, we want her to be the queen in the family. Those the reason are the main ones. Well, that's interesting. So we come to an analysis or conclusions. We use the framework of Fundix. Uh, Based on the CDA of Fundix, we formulated a framework or analysis so that we found that Muslims name giving practice in Indonesia are influenced by three categories. The first one, language learn, background of education, and socio-religious practice. We conclude that the data have shown that there is a shift in naming practice among millennial Indonesian Muslims parents for their children. The shift can be observed that parents' naming practice can be influenced by society, religious practice, their background of education, and also foreign languages that they learn at school. In society religious practice, Indonesia has experienced a fast track changing on Islamic teaching, as it was seen that women with headscarf are found easily today than decades ago. When it is analyzed according to parents' background of education and foreign language learned, millennial parents today have been exposed to modernity and science. Thus, by naming their children with pure Arabic names, parents want their children to pertain their identity as Muslims. Whereas, to name their children with the mixing names, parents want their children to pertain their identity as Indonesian Muslim and to be part of the global world. Well, that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening. See you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.